welcome to the 5th installation of Givebutter's webinars. Streaming to you live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I'm Tori Meglio, the Director of Customer Success at Givebutter. I will be your host today. Our webinar is the Last Minute Giving Tuesday Campaign Building Workshop. So we're going to show you how you can make the most of the biggest giving day of the year, Giving Tuesday, coming up on December 1st. So you might think, what are we looking at today? It's the 16th to the 1st. So we're going to show you how in just a few minutes, we're going to spend an hour together today. And by setting up a Givebutter profile, you will make the most of this giving holiday. Okay, so a few housekeeping things. This webinar ends at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be using the Q&A to ask questions throughout, and I'll answer as many as I can throughout the webinar. I'm happy if you guys could add emojis or any other comments as we're going along as well in the chat. And then Rachel from our marketing team is here, Rachel Mills, and we have Kate Cogswell from Customer Success. They're both here to help me answer questions, play music, those sorts of things, okay? So they're experts that will help in the chat and facilitating today. So some other things on my mind are, is anyone here in the Givebutter fam on Facebook? If you are, please drop a heart in the chat. If you're not, could you please join maybe after this webinar? Rachel will drop a link so that everyone can see what we have going on there. It's a place where we share some of our regular blog posts, tips, and tricks. One of my favorite things about the Givebutter fam on Facebook is that we have experts from all different industries sharing what works for them for their fundraising needs. So this is nonprofit experts, but also just anyone who uses our platform. So school groups, other small nonprofits, large nonprofits, sports groups, and small businesses. So it's interesting to see everyone get together on that platform. So I would also love, when we first welcomed everyone, we talked about where you're calling in from, but I want to know what organizations you're representing and what you're working on. So you can drop those in the chat, and then we're also going to launch a poll, okay? And so that will come up in my agenda today. So we are going to do some brief intros. We're going to go over some of my top tips for crafting your Giving Tuesday campaigns. We're going to do a live demo with a lucky attendee that will be selected through the poll we'll share. And then we're going to do a live Q&A section. So that's where you can ask any questions in the chat, and Kate and Rachel will help facilitate answering those. Okay? I'm going to go to my next slide here. Awesome. So this is a little bit about me. I'm based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, like I mentioned. When I'm not working at Givebutter, some things that I'm really passionate about outside are advocating for school choice and arts education. So I've been working on that since I graduated from college. Why I'm working with Givebutter is my skills for specializing in the technical documentation and implementation of systems. So my job is to make sure that our Givebutter customers are as best serviced as they can be with a smile, and are very excited about the product that we are able to implement for them so that they can get back to what they're doing best, which is making the world a better place. So I love the heart of Givebutter in this community that we're building, and we really see a lot of that in the Givebutter fam. Okay, so jumping in to our next slide, a little bit of background on Givebutter. We want to help you raise more, pay less, give better, and we want Givebutter to be synonymous with a better way to give. So a large portion of our users are nonprofits of all sizes. We make the barrier to entry to raise funds, keep them organized, and use all different kinds of, process all different kinds of payment methods, and we make it fun. So it's easier on the admins and things like that, which is what a large part of my day-to-day work is based around. So let's dive in. Oh, here's one of my marketing slides. So Something that we worked really hard on this year is user satisfaction. Givebutter is 5 years old now, but with a whole year of an entire customer success department under our belts and additional staffing and employees, we've had the ability to really customize those processes, and that's been displayed in how we were ranked among other fundraising platforms on G2. So we're really proud to be top ranked in ease of use, quality of support, and ease of setup. So the numbers speak for themselves there. Just really proud of those. Okay. So let's go ahead and launch our Giving Tuesday poll. Rachel, could you send that out for me, please?
You got it.
Awesome. So this is what we're looking for here. We want to know if you're a current Givebutter user. Is this your first time designing a Giving Tuesday campaign? If you're a verified 501c3, if you're interested in peer-to-peer fundraising, because that will help me decide how this conversation goes, where we focus a little bit there. And then how will you be participating in Giving Tuesday? This would allow me to help customize your campaign. Okay. So we are going to dive right in while you guys are completing that poll. If you're interested in participating in the live demo, you could go ahead and message us in the chat as well so that Kate can help select a guest, okay? All right. Thanks, I had to adjust my screen. Let's dive in. Here are my top 10 tips for crafting a Giving Tuesday campaign. The first step is have a plan. So you're here, right? You know that Giving Tuesday is happening on December 1st and that it's something that your organization should be thinking about or capitalizing on. And you maybe don't know where to start, or you have some ideas, or you've done something in the past, but this year has been different in a lot of ways. So you're just here to learn more, which is a great place to be. Welcome. So my second tip is make it easy to give, right? Make it easy for your donors to follow along with what you have going on. You should have a modernized donation form. Oh, excuse me. You should have a modernized donation form that allows you to capture the most pertinent information about your donors. So email, phone number, first name, last name, and we want to make sure that it's easy as possible for them to give, right? So offering multiple payment methods, whether that be Google Pay, Apple Pay, Microsoft Pay, Venmo, PayPal, all major debit and credit cards. Those are the sort of payment options that Givebutter offers. If it's important for you to enable ACH and things like that, you might want to look for a payment processor that offers those things, which Givebutter does now offer. So you just want to make sure that your donors are able to give with the most ease, with you still being able to collect the correct information that you need about them, okay? We also want to make, my third tip is to make your Giving Tuesday campaign multi-channel. Okay, this is something that we see a lot. You'll want to share one consistent message across multiple channels. That's email, website, social media, etc. This is to get the maximum visibility for your giving campaign. So creating this multi-channel experience is key to your Giving Tuesday success. If you focus on just one platform, say Facebook, a potential supporter could miss your entire campaign because they didn't check their timeline when you posted. And if your campaign announcement is an email and that gets trapped in spam or something like that, you're also losing that opportunity for support. So your best bet is to cover all your bases and keep your ask simple and specific. A clear, detailed message builds credibility and gives people confidence that you'll use their donation effectively. So make sure you update your website with a call to action for Giving Tuesday and those sorts of things. You might want to spruce up your social media accounts first. If you're not really using them, I would just say get to your donors how they're used to seeing you and use the platforms that they're used to receiving those information. Okay. My next tip is if you have the opportunity and bandwidth, lead with video. The power of video goes back to storytelling 101. Show, don't tell. Campaign videos don't need to be lengthy. In fact, the most viewed nonprofit videos on YouTube were 21 to 60 seconds long. And that is just pretty awesome. We've seen people put together just great messages of authentic that you could just get behind authentically to support right from their cell phones. And uploading those to a gift butter campaign couldn't be easier with hosting on YouTube. So we see that just a nice message with a video going out to everyone, telling them specifically what you're asking for this year, clear, concise, and with a smile can go a long way. So some other things that you could include in your videos that we've seen to be successful or most compelling are highlighting individual stories. So interview a person or a member of the community that has been impacted by your work. It's great to hear from the CEOs and your board members, but it's also great to hear about where those dollars are going and what your efforts are working towards. And then explainer videos. A recipe for a good video is to tell a specific story, show engaging imagery. So it doesn't have to all be video. You could clip in some photos, right? And clearly state the next action item. Are you asking them to donate? Do you want them to learn more or follow along? Or how can they participate if you were doing something like peer-to-peer? Okay. My fifth tip is recruit Giving Tuesday ambassadors. Whether you're doing peer-to-peer fundraising or a simple collect campaign, getting people behind your campaign will make it most easy for you as the person who's developing it. So people give to people. Simple as that. So put an enthusiastic face and name to your year-end campaign. For this strategy, you'll need to recruit a group of Giving Tuesday ambassadors, like I mentioned, and then whether you're building a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign where you're asking them to create online team member profiles where they can invite folks and solicit donations and supporters in that way, or if you're just asking them to invite people to donate by sharing a short and sweet URL, okay? So simply put, your Giving Tuesday ambassadors will be your champions, your loyal supporters, your dedicated donors, your enthusiastic volunteers, your lifelong sponsors. Sending them a short and sweet email asking them to share this with their networks for the holidays will be awesome. If you can do some of the groundwork for them, like giving them sample social media posts or adding images that they can share, I can only make it easier or more helpful for them as you make it easier for them. There's tremendous potential here, including the ability to give them scripts and fact sheets and those sorts of things. So, start with your friends and the people who champion around your cause and then go from there, depending on the size of your organization. My sixth tip is make it fun. So there's so many ways that you can make this fun for yourself, for your ambassadors, right? People who are going to be sharing your campaign and for your donors. So a couple ways specifically that Givebutter does this is with our supporter feed. So allowing donors to add a message of support when they give in real time. That will show up on the right-hand side, as you can see here in the GIF example. We have the ability for trackable team links. So if you create a fundraising campaign, you have the ability to invite team members to join, and they will have their own unique URL that they can invite people by text message, email, share that link on social media. It's pretty slick. And then with that, we have a friendly competition leaderboard that ranks people based on the amount of money raised and the amount of people that supported them. It creates a neat algorithm, and people are able to add their own stories and things like that. So whether you're creating something that's simple and beautiful or something that's more complex with team member fundraising, just make it fun, because at this time we could all use a little bit more of that. My seventh tip is collaborate with others. So specifically in my ideas of collaborations are collaborate with nonprofits, businesses, or sponsors. So partners and sponsorships give you access to other audiences or potential donors, as well as much needed co-promotion. So going back to the idea of videos, it could be as quick and simple as a video collaboration, where you both get twice the viewers and engagement. It could be that you co-promote each other's missions on social media, or retweet and share in that way, adding each other to a collaborative newsletter or business bureau sort of situation. Generally, it's best to choose a group that caters to a similar audience. For example, if you're like a health organization that focuses on women over the age of 40, you'll want to partner with maybe a vitamin shop or grocery store with a similar demographic. And there may be different ways to approach this to get big wins. Givebutter offers really easy QR code scanning and those sorts of things. So, you might have partnerships in your own community of, people that resonate with the message that you service. And during this Giving Tuesday holiday, might be an opportunity to reach out and create some partnerships with them. Okay. My eighth tip is to highlight a monthly giving program. So the retention rate of a monthly giver is 90%, while the retention rate of an average donor, a one-time donor, is 43%. Those numbers are awesome. So let's try to index on getting some monthly recurring or quarterly donors. So in other words, you, excuse me, um, we're focusing on monthly donors. We're building momentum beyond December 1st. So we have this Giving Tuesday campaign that we're creating between now and then in just a few weeks. And how can in that campaign and in those asks, we not just get, receive a lump sum of money or a lump sum of support, but understand that we need this giving in perpetuity. So how can we, focus on the framework of indexing on monthly giving, right? And so one of the ways we can do that is build momentum and give donors the options for that. So have concrete levels and contextualized donation amounts. We can do this with custom donation amounts. So saying increments between, 7 increments, and you can put 7 sponsorship levels, and perhaps denote that the campaign is uh, meant to be focused on, $10 does this if you give monthly, $20 does this if you give monthly or quarterly. So it just depends on how you want to design your campaign there. Okay. It's easy to forget and it's simple, but it is one of the most important things is don't forget to say thank you. Okay. Givebutter allows you to automate your customizable receipts where you can add a message of support, where thanking donors for what they've given to you, explaining to them how you're using it and what your plans are going into next year. This is a precursor to any end of year giving and those sort of receipts. So it can be a nice time to just really say a thank you with a warm holiday time welcome. You can also export all of your donor data that you get from Givebutter. So you'll be able to email them through your current email marketing systems and have all of that data for you as you're doing updating your CRMs and things like that. We also allow for native integrations using Zapier, and if you integrate with Bloomerang CRM system. So if you have any questions about that, this data cleanliness, the ability to easily, capture donations, make it fun for your donors, be able to synthesize their data and thank them all in one place. really can make it a beautiful Giving Tuesday experience, not just for the donor, but for the admin. So you can focus on what's really important, which is customizing those thank yous. So we allow you to do that at different levels and then give you all of that data to do it your own way as well. Okay. And then my my 10th tip, which is my last tip, is give better all year round. So we want to make sure that donor stewardship is part of everyday life. So the way that we give and the ethos of Givebutter is more than just collecting donations. It's what do we do with that money, and then what are those organizations doing in their community that they're raising those funds for. So it's just continued stewardship and positive attitude around those things. And that will get you far on your Giving Tuesday campaigns. So thanks for listening to my top 10 tips. Now we're going to jump into a live demo with an attendee that Kate has picked out for me. So if Kate or Rachel could let me know who we'll be working with, we'll go ahead and jump in. Awesome. So we're going to be working with Central Catholic High School. Hey, Rachel, could you have Mitzi join me?
Sure, 1 second.
Thanks so much. I'm checking out the comments, guys. We've got a lot of screens rolling. It looks like Mitzi set up a couple campaigns already. So it'll be exciting. Oh, it'll be exciting to check out what she's interested to set up for Giving Tuesday. Does anyone have questions while we wait? I'd be happy to answer them now from the chat. Lisa asked if we integrate with QuickBooks. That's an awesome question. With Zapier, we do have the ability to integrate with QuickBooks. The Zapier integration is an additional subscription. I know that their QuickBooks subscription specifically is a paid subscription, so you'll want to look into that. But the integration is pretty seamless once you set that up. Yes. That's all available here in the integrations tab of your dashboard. Yep, I'll send the link to Zapier in the chat, Lisa, so you can check it out. And then you'll want to look at specifically the QuickBooks integration. Do you recommend videos posted leading up to Giving Tuesday or a live video on Giving Tuesday or both? Rachel, that's a great question. It depends on what sort of campaign you're running and where you're going to be posting the videos. Givebutter has the ability for you to have a simple donation collection campaign or a fundraising campaign. On your fundraising campaign, you could add the videos there. If you had a collect campaign, you'd be posting the videos natively somewhere else and including that URL. So live would be, live is always a lot more to juggle than just posting a video. So it just sort of depends on, what your organization is looking to maximize there. But I would say to keep it simple and sweet, maybe a video leading up to Giving Tuesday that you promote widely, and then a thank you video that is, after Giving Tuesday with an update on what was raised, and then include the link where people can give in perpetuity. Hope that answers your question. Hey, Mitzi, how's it going? She's switching to her laptop, so just 1 second. Thanks, everyone. Do we have any other questions?
Tori, we have a question from Suzanne Johnson in
Mm-hmm.
Q&A. How do
Yeah.
we engage our ambassadors for Giving Tuesday when we're asking them to share our Givebutter platform, but no one can donate until Tuesday, December 1st? How do you best recommend we do this besides shutting off the donation section on our Givebutter site?
Yeah, I would say that it's never too early to ask people to donate to that, but the big push for your donors is on Giving Tuesday. So basically, your ambassadors get a sneak peek. It doesn't hurt that they would perhaps promote the campaign days in advance, even if a week in advance. Kate, do you think that's a good answer as well? Do you have any other recommendations for that? I know we've been answering these questions a lot lately, and that's what I think. That's what I think.
Absolutely. I think that Giving Tuesday is one day, but it never hurts to have people hear about it early. And on Giving Tuesday, there are so many organizations who are going to be competing for those dollars, and getting your word out early is never a bad idea.
Right, and we do have the ability for you to allow your campaigns to continue in perpetuity. This is especially important when you're doing monthly giving and things like that. So when someone gives to a Giving Tuesday campaign, you're not going to shut it off immediately, right? Because you want to receive those monthly donations in perpetuity as well. So it's really thinking about donor stewardship throughout the whole year. If you're asking your ambassadors to rally behind something, you want to make sure that we've thought about those things in the context of how it fits for your organization. Kim has a question. So I use a fundraise campaign instead of collect. Would I make the end date Giving Tuesday 12/1? So that's a great question, Kim. I would make the I would make the end date Giving Tuesday 12/1 until Giving Tuesday, and then I would remove the end date unless you want to perhaps extend it another week to build more scarcity. That's just there to show your donors, that there's a little bit of scarcity associated with it, that, a call to action. Okay. Lisa, I agree with you that I think it makes sense to get the word out early. Rabbi, what is the advantage of collect versus fundraise? Seems like fundraise is much more dynamic. I would agree, Rabbi, but one of the things about collect, which is so interesting, let me go and show a demo. One of the things that's so robust about a collect campaign is specifically the ability to embed it onto your website. So if people are used to going to your website and you want to communicate the story there, then you would embed a collect campaign onto your website. You would share that website URL on social media and drive everything there multi-channel. This could also be good if you want to show a goal bar in this way and not solicit a message of support or have anything public facing. So those are the main advantages that I see specifically for a collect campaign. Whereas you're right, it's far more dynamic storytelling wise on a fundraise campaign, because we have the ability to add the message of support, multiple photos, team members if you so choose. You can also disable team members so that it would just be a story section, perhaps a photo video, a goal bar if you'd like, okay? And so it could just read donate here and people have the ability to select their options. So it really just depends on how you're facilitating your giving and what your donors are used to in the past. Hey Mitzi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for offering to be a volunteer.
Yeah, sorry about the delay. I don't have sound or camera on my desktop, and that's how I normally watch just these. So.
All good. I know it was kind of impromptu. How are things in your world? Where are you calling from?
California.
Awesome. So we've had the pleasure of working together before, which is
Yes.
great. And I would love to use your account to create a demo Giving Tuesday campaign, one that specifically the school would be interested in using. Yeah.
Yeah.
So could you maybe talk to me about some of those parameters, what you're interested in and what you're, how you'll be sharing, what you're looking to index on and those sorts of things. And then maybe
Yes.
give a little background on Central Catholic?
So I think in the past when we did like a one day of giving, we basically just posted a lot on social media and sent some emails out to our families and some of our past donors because we're a high school. So that's typically who we are reaching out to for support is our current families and then our past families and alumni. So the Central Catholic Fund is our annual fund that I've created, and that's actually on our page right now when people go to donate. That is there. So now I just kind of want to, I guess, step that up for the day of giving, the Giving Tuesday, how we can maybe add some more elements to it or things like that.
Sure. So you're thinking a different URL specifically for Giving Tuesday, a new campaign?
If you think that's the right move or not, if we just kind of update it.
Certainly. So one thing you could do is you could replace what you currently have embedded on the website just for Giving Tuesday, time, right?
Yeah.
And basically, people wouldn't know the difference, right? It's just you're embedding a different campaign in there. So why don't we go ahead and design that and we can sort of talk about the specific language that you might like to use.
Okay.
Great. So I'll go with a collect campaign then. And then, so we saw here how on this page, it says, the account name, it will have your EIN. And then this is what we will be naming first, the title. So we don't always need to say like Central Catholic High School again, right? Or the full name. This could just be like Giving Tuesday 2020 or something along those lines. Does anything sort of strike you there? Like Central Catholic Giving Tuesday or? We can always change it, but it's.
Yeah, I guess just do Central Catholic Giving Tuesday.
Okay. Great. So let's use the same color that fits perfectly for your website. Would you like to add a description? So this is what we have right now for the CC fund. Could you see us abridging that a little bit, or would you like to make up something on the spot as a filler?
I think that works. You can just copy that.
Okay. Do you have a goal in mind that you'd like to set? It's not necessary, but it would show up as a goal bar.
No, for the one day, no goal.
Okay, great. So for the sharing, we have the ability here to customize the URL. So I could click here and see that we named this one CC Fund. Would you maybe want to call this CC Giving Tuesday?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. And then in the future, like next year, we can just duplicate this campaign and then update the URL to be CC Giving Tuesday 2021.
Okay.
Awesome. So you know where to get the embed code. This will be copy and paste right onto the widget of your website, which will allow you to display the embed code, right? Pretty slick right onto the website. And then text to donate. Do you want to use text to donate for this campaign?
Yes.
Great. Do you know what you'd like to have your donors text?
Would CC Giving Tuesday be too long?
How about,
Would it be bad to also use our regular one? I think I just use CC Fund on the other one.
what if you did CC Give or CC Gives?
Okay, yeah.
I think that's like, memorable, but
Yeah.
unique. Yeah. So it would be, if anyone could do this now, text CC Gives to the Givebutter phone number, which is 202-858-1233, and it will return this URL. Okay. So Mitzi, you also have your scan to give here. If you want to print your QR code out or display it somewhere digitally, you just pull it onto your desktop or download. Okay. Cool. Anything else, Mitzi, you have questions about here in the sharing tab?
No?
All right, excellent. So let's get to customizing. We want to make sure we're accepting payments. Do you need to require phone numbers or billing addresses for any of your donors?
I can't remember what I did, but yeah, I think if we're sharing this online, we might have people from different. So yeah, requiring both those.
Okay, but any organization has the ability to control how they'd like to collect this information. Do you want to allow people to send checks, Mitzi?
No.
Okay, so we'll leave that off. What recurring frequencies would you like to display?
I think that's good, one time and monthly.
Awesome. Do you want to display a fund section?
No.
Okay. Would you like to customize these amounts?
No, I think those are good.
Okay, great. If you wanted to, you could add a description here. This is where I was talking about the ability to say, $10 a month does this, $25 a month does this.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
those sorts of things. Very cool. Do you have any additional questions that you'd like to ask folks, like opt into email marketing or anything like that?
I usually will ask, I put in a question about their constituency or their affiliation. So if they're an alumni or a parent or a past parent, I forget how I phrased it, but.
Cool. So we don't need to designate the donation, but this question I can copy?
Yes.
Great.
If you create a campaign, I forget what this one's called, is it easy or is it possible to switch it to the fundraise
Oh yeah, that's a
type
great
or
question.
category, or I forget what they're called, but
Yeah, so they're called campaign types and you can switch between them right here. We call it toggling. So you can toggle between the three. So you can switch to a fundraiser in a matter of seconds. So your campaign, you'll see how it changed to the setup here.
okay.
It's now pulling your cover photo and story section, right? And we had the ability to add a donation or join as a fundraiser. And so you could customize that from here. So it's
Okay.
really easy we also have this duplicate button. So you can go and try all different types and formats and those sorts of things.
Okay.
And then if we want to change it back, we're just hiding information and changing the format.
Okay. If you change the format, change the type of giving of the campaign, when it comes to the embed code, then do you have to copy and paste the embed code?
That's a
Or
great question. That's a great question. What you're actually embedding into your campaign remains the same. So you're embedding this payment processor, and when you use it on a fundraise campaign, the donate button is what you're embedding.
okay.
Okay. So it's that payment processor when you click that donate button, just the ability to see the payment.
Okay, so if I wanted,
So if you want to have a fundraise campaign, you can still embed it on your website, but what you'd be embedding is this.
okay,
The payment processor that you see here. So it's this widget. You can drive people to the story section using the URL, the custom URL.
okay,
Okay, great. So I'm gonna switch this back to collect. And the last things we'll want to customize are you'll need to add a thank you message, okay? And you need to decide how you want to display your fees, okay? And all of that is configurable in the settings tab,
okay,
okay? So with the default settings, this is what it would look like as we're clicking through. You would add your contingency or custom question, and then you'd be able to check out, okay?
awesome.
Mitzi, thanks so much. Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about Giving Tuesday campaign or your plans in general?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome. If you want to follow up with me or have any other questions, I'll shoot you an email this afternoon, okay?
Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much for your time. Awesome. So thanks everyone for watching me and Mitzi sort of workshop what she's going to be working on for Giving Tuesday. I would love to take any questions at this time. Rachel, Kate, would you like to facilitate that? I'm also gonna check out the chat. We do offer a fundraising thermometer. This is a question from Lisa. You can see the fundraising thermometer on our fundraise and events campaigns. That goal bar is available also on a collect campaign if you set an optional goal. So all three of our campaign types have a fundraising thermometer. You can embed, this is a question from Kim Baker about embedding the widgets. So every campaign has that sharing tab with a unique embed code for its widget. And the widget, no matter the campaign type, will be for the payment processor, okay? Rachel asked a question between which type I recommend, and I think that both types depend on what your donor experience you're trying to cultivate and sort of what you're looking for there. What your donors are used to and how you will be communicating with them. So you'll just make some of those decisions from things you already know and choose the campaign type that fits into those assets that you have. Suzanne has a great question about how QR codes are used. I've seen QR codes used in a lot of slick ways. So let's talk about digital. So you can display them on a digital screen. You can add them to your website. You could add them to any display that someone might be looking at while holding their phone. Because the idea is that someone will be holding their phone, looking at a display and be able to scan, okay? For print, I've seen it work beautifully in mailers, on the back of envelopes, as stickers. QR codes really live in perpetuity, so you can spread them around, and they don't need to be very big. What really is key is that you include directions around the QR code saying, scan with any iPhone, just hold your phone up to the screen. You can find some nice directions for those online. Okay. So Suzanne had another question about custom fields. So on the campaign we just made for Central Catholic, I added a question about their contingency. So in the tools tab of every Givebutter campaign, you have the ability to ask additional questions. So would you like to opt into our email marketing? What's your t-shirt size? Do you want steak or fish? So any question you can come up with. We don't want to ask too many things, but you can get that pertinent information from your donors using any of our campaign types. Rabbi asks a good question about how do you advise matching donations to inspire more giving? Just a line in the story, et cetera, et cetera. So what I would say for matching donations is in peer-to-peer campaigns, it's much more of this idea of my goal is to raise $100. If I raise $100, then I have a match of X. It depends on what you want to do with corporate sponsorships and things like that. The sky is sort of the limit. We don't have a matching function at this time. We have that on our product roadmap. But what I've seen be most successful in this season is a lot of verbal pledges. If you raise this, I'll cut a check for X, right? Those sorts of things. And then really adding that to the story section, because it's really this idea of why those people are doing matching, getting them to explain that, whether it's traditionally been a letter or, some sort of materials in that way, it could now be an engaging story and video. Carly asked a question, or excuse me, Carl Chambers asked a question. If a check payment is accepted for a campaign, can each check be manually entered into Givebutter so it's captured as part of the campaign total? So the way that accepting checks works for Givebutter is the check is immediately added to the campaign total, and it is to the discretion of the donor and the administration to make sure that that check is received and accounted for. We have the ability for you to acknowledge checks in Givebutter once they're received, and donors will receive in their receipt and on the donation flow the directions on where they should mail their check. Okay. So it's pretty slick and it seems to work well. Any other questions? Gonna check out the chat. I've really appreciated our time together and would like to know if there's anything else I can elaborate on.
There is one question here, Tori, from Suzanne. Can you also go over once again about the special section where we can ask what type of donor they are, contingency questions? Is that what this is called?
Yeah, so those are the custom fields, Rachel. So if we could get Suzanne the link to those, that's in the tools tab of any campaign. You can ask folks additional questions by a drop-down menu, short answer, checkbox, those sorts of things. Deb has a question. Can we copy the HTML to put in our site, the entire fundraiser, not just the donate tab? Deb, at this time, we don't have the ability for you to embed your entire fundraise or events campaign into your website. We do offer custom subdomains and custom domains for that functionality, which Kate can give you more information on in the chat. Okay. Thanks so much, Susan. I'm glad you're set. You're welcome, Deb. Lisa, yes, we accept Apple Pay with the donate button. So you'll see Apple Pay. If you're on an iPhone, or device, right, that has Apple Pay on it with a valid credit card. So we don't show Apple Pay, Google Pay, Microsoft Pay to people who don't have those options set up on their computer or mobile device, so that we don't get anyone confused. Okay. Carl, an idea for a call-a-thon might be that you call folks in a team, and then you have the ability to text them or send them directly this URL that you've created. So you could have some people on the phones doing things in that way. Would be interesting for a call-a-thon idea. We have seen something more along the lines of a 24-hour live raise. So folks will sign up for an hour slot of a live stream, and they will perform or read or fill up their section time slot with entertainment for a group, and other team members and folks will promote the stream through the Givebutter campaign, and the Givebutter URL allows you to watch the stream and donate in real time. So that sort of takes it from being calling folks to sharing this stream, them joining over those 24 hours when they can. We have a great example of this in Soaring Spirits. So this success story, they did a 24-hour video marathon back in June, and I'll share this link with everyone, but you can see from some of their examples just the way that they facilitated their event. And it was more, it was more about being there for folks, people watching in the privacy of their own homes, being comfortable, not a real solicitation, but more of storytelling and story sharing, which led people to give and being excited about, building community and sharing things in their own ways. 24 hours is a long time. This could totally be pared down to, just a live event that's happening for an hour, and then something you promote in perpetuity after that. Because even though something is live or released, the best part about the internet is that we have weeks and weeks to share it after. So, making sure that we prepare and capitalize on these early days of Giving Tuesday in simple ways as we can. And then, knowing that as we look into the new year, there's, more complex ways, bigger projects, and more ideas to execute on. So that being said, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. If we don't have any other questions, there's this PowerPoint will be shared after so that you can contact us, join the Givebutter fam, and learn more about Givebutter Pro, okay? I really appreciate everyone sharing their time and talents with me. Rachel and Kate, this wouldn't have been possible without you. This is my first webinar, everyone, so I thank you for your grace and attention. We're really excited about finishing 2020 strong. It has been a heck of a year for Givebutter personally and professionally, and also our clients. So keep on keeping on. We're here to help you. Our success and support team is designed to make it easier for you to raise funds so that you can get back to what you're doing, which is making the world a better place. So thanks so much, everyone. Rachel, do you have anything else you would like to mention today?
That's it. Thanks so much, everybody, and wonderful job, Tori. Thanks for leading us to be successful and give better with Givebutter this Giving Tuesday.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck with Giving Tuesday. If you have any questions, my email is always open. We also have great chat support on the website. If you haven't created a Givebutter account, it's completely free to sign up. We don't have any subscriptions unless you want to upgrade to Givebutter Pro. So check out what we have going on. I'd love to see some signups, more smiling faces in my inbox would be great too. Everybody be well and finish 2020 strong. See you later.